There's nothing that stops you.
An aggressive growth sense out of.
Yeah, so you get the ball.
Reading the first chat.
That's even better.
Ransom shield one.
And
Hey, Kathy, it's so good to be here with you.
hi, Shar. How are you? It's great to
You
be
know,
here.
living the dream, being fun, being able to be creating more magic. And of course, we miss Ty. We love Ty. But Kathy, I can't wait for us to deep dive into your expertise and how we're going to talk about this very common problem that many coaches have with being in the coaching industry. And so, Kathy, again, I'm so excited. I can feel your energy. I feel the power of your presence. And of course, I love Ty, so I'm a little biased. Anyone that Ty says is amazing, we're all in.
Ty is a great guy, and I'm just so happy to be connected to him and be able to be here in this space today with you. I'm so excited.
Well, that's awesome. So, Kathy, in your years of experience, not only as an entrepreneur, a CEO, and of course being a coach,
Mhm.
this is a common belief, and I consider it an assumption, and it's unfortunate because a lot of times people, how like you talk to someone and they give you the wrong information and you do the telephone game, and then all of a sudden that one wrong information turns into a big conglomerate, a big story, and
Yeah.
then people are like, "But this is what I heard," and I'm thinking, how did this telephone game get started? Because a lot of people think that, the crowding in the industry of coaching is very crowded. And I don't really believe that.
I think you're right. I do think it could feel very crowded because there's a visibility and a viability problem, right? So you've got coaches that are on TikTok and Instagram, and they're putting coaching behind their name. And there's a lot of promotion in that space, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they have real viability to help you with whatever you're seeking coaching on. So I understand how it can feel really crowded, but really finding a coach that meets your needs, that can really help you with whatever you're trying to do in your space. I think it's really a smaller number than people actually understand and know.
Well, and then I also see the reason why I don't believe it's crowded or feeling like, I can't stand out there, in my power and in my message is because a lot of times individuals, as they're coaching, they might have a certain story that only one or two of their clients would ever say, I didn't think anyone else had the same thing
Mm.
that moment.
Yeah, I do think there is, this kind of idea that no one will really understand my unique issue, right? Coaching is a growing industry. There are a lot of people who are jumping into the space, but again, their niche hasn't necessarily been fully defined. They're not finding their perfect avatar client because they're not necessarily doing the work that it will take to grow in a specific niche area. So everybody's getting inundated and flooded with all of these different coaches that are out, but it's not necessarily tapping into what the real story and the niche that people really need support in. So I think you're absolutely right. It's not overly saturated. It's just that we have information overload almost around coaching.
It totally does. And that's why this, second question I think has come up many times when I talk to prospective coaches and coaches who are coming over from a career, right? Like they're
Mhm.
coming from enterprise,
Mhm.
corporate America and saying, "Oh, I want to add coaching to it." And I go, "Well, how do you stand out in this sea of sameness? How do you stand out?" Because they don't have the depth, right? You might have the depth, Kathy, because you had numerous clients, you had experiences, and these guys just kind of hop in and say, "I'm a coach," and I'm thinking, man, you got to earn your reps and your stripes around here. This is not just add my coaching title and I'm a coach.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I transitioned from a big career in education. I was a principal and did the work at the leadership level, at the district level, but I went through a real process, right? The whole time I was in education, I was coaching other leaders, I was doing all of that work, but I didn't really put a name to it. I really didn't want to label myself in that space, and there was that fear that I didn't have the skill set to really do this at a grander scale, right? But when I was able to step away from that space, actually get the deeper training and understand my niche, right? And the question I asked myself, where is the gap that I am uniquely qualified to fill? And all coaches need to ask that question, right? To get back to your previous question, like, is it oversaturated? I think there are people who are in that space that have not answered that question. And so that's why it feels like it's super saturated and all of these people are available to help support you in your growth and your journey in coaching. But it's actually not, they haven't been very strategic in thinking about what is their unique gap that they are qualified to fill, and then building everything around their brand and what they have to offer around that particular space.
Well, and this is where, Kathy, I think many times your story is exactly how many people stumble upon becoming a coach because they're already doing it in their corporate career, they're managing, leading teams, and you're experiencing, you're like, I'm dealing with the C-suite team on and on. Like you already are doing it. And so, guys, if you're watching this live or the replay, you already are coaching. You just haven't done what Kathy did. Didn't have a name to it. It didn't have a checkbox. It wasn't a marketing angle. It really was because of how you were dealing with your team and the people. And naturally, Kathy, you've seen this in your role, I'm sure, that people just naturally gravitate to those kind of people.
They do. People love, to your point earlier, they love to figure out connection. They love to see, to feel like they're being seen and they're being heard in a very deep way. And they connect oftentimes through the storytelling, right? Me telling my story has gotten me so many clients in that space, right? Understanding that I had to lead big teams that were really complex and layered and all of those things. But then being able to come out on top and being able to support the growth of individuals on my team, whether it be, in the schools or at the district level, and then being able to translate that, right? The big thing for me was to figure out the translation, right? How could I sell this story? Because they feel like education is very niche, right? Those things that happen in corporate America don't happen in education, and they absolutely do. And so, but like selling that story, helping people to translate my identity from that space into this new space by using some of those things, the coaching resources and tools I was using with people on my team in this very new space. So I coach a lot of businesses, I coach a lot of business leaders, a lot around culture, all of those things, because those were pieces that were important to me when I was leading in this other space. And so making the translation happen through the storytelling, giving them really concrete examples, making them feel seen, making them feel heard, making them believe, right? Belief is like at the top of the list when you're trying to help to coach somebody. They have to believe that it can happen for them, right? To your point earlier, you have so many people like that came into coaching and they're not necessarily growing their business because I think sometimes they want to do it, but they don't believe that it can happen for them. So a lot of that has to happen in this space.
And guys, this is normal. We just want to make sure that when you're watching our lives and you're coming to our webinars, and of course we're going to talk about CoachCon just in 1 millisecond, is that everyone starts somewhere. We just don't want you to forget. You got to start today if you want to harvest something later. You can't necessarily go and harvest every single day. You've got to farm and harvest is an analogy I use a lot of times, Kathy, because a lot of people, they see these big names and go, I want to be that. And I'm thinking, have you done all the work before you even got there, right? All the failures, all of the successes, all of the learning opportunities, all of the, I hate to say this, unpacking sometimes, guys, what holds us back from our dreams. And so, Kathy, you've seen this many times with aspiring coaches and professionals who are like, I want all the big name and praise. And I'm thinking, man, welcome to the club. Start working.
Right. Yeah. And that's it. Right. In order to work, though, I believe you have to have a lot of structure. You've got to ask yourself the big, hard, tough questions around what niche you want to fulfill. Where are you uniquely qualified to help support and grow others in that space, right? And then what are the things you have to put in place to ensure that the connection happens, that the follow-up happens, that there's a through line for them to get to their goal, right? And so that's why I love CoachCon. I love CoachCon because we are being intentional in helping coaches create frameworks where those things happen in a way that are seamless, that are integrated, that are thoughtful, right? To architect your success requires you to track and monitor and build in a way that will ensure that you can monetize, right? At the end of the day, you want to make money, right? But you want to do it in a way that fulfills what your purpose and your calling is in coaching. And so I love Coach Con because I believe that all of those pieces are going to be available and brought to us with the amazing dynamic speakers we have coming. That the whole structure of Coach Con is about growing your coaching business.
And guys, this is the thing. What Kathy is saying is going to be happening for anyone at any stage of coaching. Here's the thing. Many of you think, well, I'm already, charging $1,500 a coaching client. I don't need it. Technically, that's success. But what if you could have more? What if you could have it be repeatable formula of success? So this framework she's talking about allows us to have that conversation. But guess what, guys? Even the startup can come. Even the person who's already senior and has a number of clients, you can actually do that single-handedly in the 3 days of conference to go, hey, how do I do this better? Maybe someone else has one idea. And, Kathy, I always tell everybody, you're always one person away from the success that you're probably wanting. You just needed someone else to tell you because you were too overwhelmed or too bombarded by all the other things you were doing.
A lot of coaches, you just hit the nail on the head. A lot of coaches are inundated with the starting, the running, the doing, the finances. Like we are in the kitchen cooking, as my kids would say, right? And we can miss, right, the nuanced ways of being present for our clients and engaging in our clients, marketing with them, having those conversations. So what I love about Coach Con is it's going to be a time for you to breathe, right, and really think about your why, what you offer, and then how you can continue to grow it in a way that hopefully reduces some stress, right?
Right.
You're going to increase your credibility. You're going to showcase outcomes that you can help your coaches get to. Like you can help them, the content and the thought leadership that will be in the room that will help you to execute at your next level best is going to be in that space. And that's why I think everybody should come to Coach Con to help to get those things in place so that you can move your business forward.
Well, guys, of course, we're going to provide the link inside of our LinkedIn Live today so that you can go ahead and look over it, connect with us, reach out to myself. I hate to say this, Ty, even though you're not here with us, we're going to make sure that they reach out and connect with you. And of course, Kathy, because guys, we want you to start where you are. And if you could take one or two things from Coach Con, you are better off than the person who never came, who never tried to ask for help because, they had to know everything. And we don't want you to do that. We want you to come into a safe place where you can ask better questions and get a better answer because you're going to deal with people who actually have gotten where you want and are going where you want to go. So Kathy, at the end of the day, yes, you're absolutely right. Coach Con is not only going to help transform businesses, but it's going to get them organized and help that framework become more tangible and real.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about it. I think we have a dynamic lineup of speakers. Ty is an amazing coach and he really helped to build an agenda I think is going to be game changing for any coach who's able to come. We want you to come. We want your feedback. We're excited about the opportunity to help everyone grow their coaching business. So please.
We can't wait.
Yeah.
We cannot wait, guys. All right, guys. So as you know, the link is live. Go ahead and register, reach out to them, connect with us. But again, guys, we want you to know all you need to do is show up. And half the time, that's all the universe needs you to do in order for it to give to you the abundance and the wealth and the opportunity you keep asking for. Just show up at Coach Con. Thanks again, Kathy, for the time. I'm so excited that we're going to be doing this more together. And of course, we love Ty. Ty, wherever you are in the world, just know that we're with you. And again, Kathy, thank you again so much for doing this.
Thank you, Shar. I'll see everybody at Coach Con.
Yay.